Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jake. Thank you all for taking a little bit of time out of your day to come hang out with me. I appreciate every single person that does. Today what I want to be talking to you about is a little bit of my background. I kind of talked a little bit about my background a couple videos ago now, quite a bit ago in the not so distant past there, but I kind of just wanted to let you guys get to know me a little bit better and where I came from, a little bit of my younger days and how I got to just be in the position I am, which isn't necessarily the best position, but it is a lot farther than where I've come from and a lot farther than most people that came from the same place that I did, right? Now, besides this a little choppy, this week has been pretty crazy. So far, me and my wife and kids are living in a construction zone right now. We are installing a furnace because we have baseboard heating. And for anybody who knows anything about that at all, it sucks. And we are installing a furnace right now. It's expensive, the baseboard heating. So we're trying to transfer over into using gas right now. But that being said, we'll get right into this video. I just wanted to kind of go over my background and my childhood and everything so you can kind of know a little bit more about me. Now, I won't bore you with all my childhood stuff. I'll start kind of when I'm a little bit older and kind of realizing how money works and how my place in the whole money flow situation kind of works out. So my dad owned a company of his own. My parents are divorced, so my dad owned a scrap business where we would take old cars, basically cut them up, take salvageable pieces, sell them, and then scrap the rest and get money for that as well. And my mom is a nurse. So I lived primarily with my dad, mid-state Wisconsin, and my mom lived a little more south than that. So it was about 2 hours or an hour between us, really. Living with my dad, we didn't really make a lot of money, so we relied a lot on hunting and things like that to get by. And my mom, on the other hand, she made a ton of money. She was a nurse and she has 2 jobs and basically just lives to work, kind of like how I am too. I get a lot of my personality from my mom when it comes to the workaholic part, but she never really saved, and my dad really never had any extra money to save. I kind of got into the mindset that saving was what you need to do with your money. So actually, before I even graduated high school, I moved out of my dad's house and I started collecting my own child support, which my mom was paying my dad for because that was my primary residence, right? So since I was 18, I was able to collect that myself since I was still going to high school. And that funded my rent and also me going to college. So I was able to go to school for something like 16 hours a day. I went to school to be a CNA and EMT. Funny enough, I didn't do anything with either of those. I wanted to keep going to be a nurse, but by the time I had enough, I was trying to save up enough to graduate with zero debt from the nursing program, which coincidentally I had saved up, but unfortunately life happens and my stepdad's father died, and my mom kind of took on the role of paying for all the burial and all the services and everything because it was kind of unexpected. Obviously that kind of thing is never expected, but I was asked then to take on some of the responsibility of, at this time where I was living was with my mom, to kind of pay for the mortgage and the cars and everything, and that literally drained my bank account because my mom makes 6 figures a year, and at the time I was making like 40 grand a year. So me having saved up like $12,000 at the time, it kind of ate all that money away real quick, and that kind of squashed my idea to go to nursing school. And at the same time, the nursing program around here is so difficult to get into, so that kind of put a kibosh on that, right? But after that point, I was like, you know what, if I'm not going to go to school, I need to I'm not going to I didn't ever want to rent an apartment. I wanted to own what I lived in, which is what I thought was the best move at the time. And I don't regret it at all, but that's what I did. I saved up about 5,000 again, and then I bought this place that I'm living in now, and I did have to put like 3,500 down, so that wasn't like the best move in my part. I wish I would have known a little bit, but this is me learning the hard way. I bought my place and I didn't really know what I was doing, what I was looking for. I mean, I do love my home, but I wish I would have known a little bit more about, say, for example, the baseboard heating. That is crazy expensive. But I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of catching up, and now my place is, I love it. But that being said, moving on from that, I was making about $50,000 a year working very physical labor at a distribution warehouse where we would ship car parts for GM and Mopar. And I worked my way up the ladder from that. I was a supervisor, I've been leads, used to drive trucks in our yard, semi trucks, but I didn't ever get my CDL. But that was a really fun thing to do when I didn't have my CDL. But I could never leave the yard, but whatever, that's besides the point. But I worked there for quite some time. I learned about Robinhood, learned about investing a little bit. I was doing it here and there. I wasn't really getting anywhere, so I kind of gave up on it at one point, and then I started again, and I started getting somewhere, and then life would happen, sell, buy, sell, or whatever, right? So I didn't really think about saving money or investing money or anything like that hardcore, because I was never taught these things as a young kid, so I never thought that this would go anywhere. Fast forwarding a little bit, I tried my hands at sales. I didn't like it. The company that I worked for didn't really make you feel good about selling their product. Then I went over to my current job now, which is manufacturing, and it's hard work, but it pays decent and there's really great benefits. So that's kind of why I stuck with that, because I have my 2 kids now and my wife to make sure we have insurance and have our bills paid. So this is kind of how I've been focusing on that. But that being said, as of late 2019 is when I really started heavily investing, and that was that's when I decided that, hey, I'm going to go heavy into dividend stocks. And the reason I chose dividend stocks is because I wanted that reoccurring payment. So if anything were to happen, like what happened in 2020, we hit that pandemic, right? COVID-19 comes out, things start shutting down. I wanted that reoccurring paycheck to be coming in, even if it was a little bit, even if it was enough just to help us eat. That is what I was aiming for, and I could figure out the rest later for paying the rest of the bills, right? But it kind of evolved from there, because I started heavily investing right around March, because you guys probably know, meet Kevin. He was always saying buy when people are fearful. So I was afraid, right? So I bought a lot. I kept buying more frequently, and now, as of today, I'm up on purely dividend stocks. I have 73 dividend stocks and ETFs and REITs and stuff like that, but I'm up around $2,200 in profit just off that, not including the dividends themselves, which are only a couple hundred, but that has been growing exponentially over the past couple months. And now that I've kind of gotten my bearings down in my investment journey, it is really starting to pick up steam, and it's got me excited for the future. And looking back on where I came from, I'm 28 years old right now. Looking back, it's just crazy that I just broke 10,000 in my Robinhood account, which is my main dividend account, and like that's more money than both my parents combined have saved up in their savings accounts, and that's kind of just mind-blowing to me. Bad money management on their part, but for me, that's awesome. I mean, it just makes you think how if you start something and you stick to it, it can really start to gain traction and really start to pay off in the long run. But I'll cut it there. I just wanted to give you guys a little more feeling about who I am as a person and where I've come from. And I know that $10,000 isn't a lot to most people, but to me, that is insane. That's more money, like I said, than both my parents have saved up. Now, my mom could make that in a month, but still, just how I personally view things is pretty crazy. But all right, so I'll stop rambling there. I just wanted to give you guys a little more background on myself, so maybe you can kind of relate to me or whatnot. But I'll plug all the same stuff I usually plug. My yacht is down in the description below. My Robinhood's down there. My Acorn's down there. And also Track Your Dividends is down there as well. If you want to go and track your own dividends, that's a completely free website. If you guys didn't know, that's one of the tools that I use. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. The stock market's up, so that is always good. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.